Hey, it's me again. Just like I'm trying making this video to try and make sense of, everything that's been happening. And that's the thing, like it's not really meant for us to really make sense of it. But you see, that's the thing. And disclaimer, these are just my views, my opinions based on everything, personal experiences that have happened to me. And like there's certain things that I know, like for myself, like what I feel like that I'm certain of. One thing that I am certain of is everything is connected. There is no such thing as coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. And like if you can't see that, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means you can't see that. Maybe you're not meant to see it, or maybe you're not meant to see it yet, and everything. Because this plot that is against us, like, is there a plot against us, a conspiracy? I think with all the evidence seen, or what I've seen, what I've learned is yes, without a doubt, something is happening. Is the government involved? Oh, yes, like they're being utilized. So is it the politicians? Is it the bankers? Yes, and everything. They're all involved in this conspiracy, to essentially, it's about imprisoning the human spirit, the consciousness, not just, but we're so much more than what we've ever been led to believe. That's something that I know. This world is not what it seems. This entire world is not what it seems. Everything we thought we knew is not, you know, it's not what we thought it was. And that right there, like for me personally, it's always, like for me, I have to keep an open mind, an open heart for like anything that I see, anything that like, I encounter. Like, I always question, look at every side and aspect of something. Because, that's the thing. There's so many agents of disinformation out there, Like, for all we know, like, all of us could each be being utilized in this conspiracy as an agent of disinformation. Like, we don't know. The truth is, like, the only person you can really trust is, yourself. It's up to you. It's like you got to decide for yourself based on everything that you see. Because the thing is, our minds are finite. The spirit is infinite. You know, like I've seen many different perspectives, and there's a synchronicity. Like when there's synchronicity, that usually means that there has to be some sort of universal truth. But you see, it's because of all this divisions and everything, like be it religion or different politics and everything. You see, that's part of the problem. There are nations and cultures. Like, they make all these different opinions and views unique in a sense. And like what certain conclusions that I've drawn is like, yeah, we all, our spirit, our soul, our infinite souls are all part of the same cosmic divine consciousness, and that's God in a sense. We're all God. Like that's life force within us, that's God. That's the way I view it in a sense. And but each of us, like I've heard this term before, like many times from different sources, they keep on referring to it. It's the game. It's all about the game. Life's a ride. It's a dream. It's an illusion. It's all a big trick in a sense to confuse us. And if you look at it, like one source, you'll be hearing like, oh, they're trying to create earthquakes to cause like horrible disasters all over the world. They're using the weather to destroy food crops, to starve us, and all these things. Like the mainstream media confirms some of it. Like the whole coming food shortages and everything. That's why that's something that I feel people should be aware of. But should we fear it? Like, well, if you fear it, that's part of the confusion they want to create. But at the same time, this world is not what we thought it was. It's not what I thought it was. And that makes me wonder, is it all a big trick, a lie, or something, trying to confuse us on our way back to source, in a sense, on our way back to God, trying to make our journey that much harder. In a sense, there is no real right or wrong answer. Is the harp a weapon system. Oh yes, without a doubt, you know, and the system has been using it against us, in a sense, without a doubt, mind control. But you see, there's also the possibility, you know, like this plot that's been against humanity, against you, against me. It's been in effect for thousands of years. They've plotted every single detail. Like, you know, even, you know, chemtrails and everything. Everything has multiple purposes. You know, without a doubt, it's hurting people. You know, people are being hurt by these things. They're being controlled by these things. Like, people are fearful of them and everything. And, you know, like, I agree, you know, like, these things are, you know, they're not good. But at the same time, like, you know, you hear all these other things saying, like, you know, it's all about what you focus on. Your focus becomes your reality. Like, and that's the conundrum. Is it like, is that disinformation in and of itself? But yet, on the other hand, there's things that have confirmed that yes, your focus does become your reality. Or is that just part of the big mind control trick, like of the system and everything, trying to make us think, like, oh no, like, you know, don't focus on the bad things and all will be well and everything. Or, you know, is that just something to make us, you know, stop questioning and everything, you see? Because it's that dual-sided coin, that duality. You can't get away from it. It's this infinite loop and everything. Like, what is going to happen? Is the sun solar flares going to incinerate the planet? Is the sun going to cause earthquakes and everything? Or is it just the harp? Is this the work of man? And I really feel that, you know, there is a lot that's being done by man, but there's also unseen forces, you know, the unseen forces behind this reality that are, like, you know, trying to create as much chaos as they can. And, like, for me personally, like, what I feel is, like, you know, whatever I see, whatever I feel like is potentially important, like, people need to be aware that something big is happening. Something big is happening. You know, in a sense, there is a spiritual war, a global spiritual war being waged against humanity right now. Like, or could it be just my perspective? Like, it's a war against me? But, you know, is that chance? Like, you know, what if it's not, you know, like, all this stuff is disinformation? Like, you know, the fact that, like, maybe potentially everything out here is just a projection of what's in here, you know? But the mind is finite, you know, it's not, like, it can lie to us, you know? Like, it's this war against our own internal egos and everything. But, you know, I do have faith that, you know, that one core belief that we are all one. You know, we're all part of the same infinite consciousness. You know, we're not human beings having spiritual awakenings. No, we're spiritual beings having human experiences. And that's something that people on a grand scale are starting to be made aware of. Like, I see it. You know, a lot of people all over the world are being made aware of this. And, like, you know, what is our individual role in that? Like, you know, like, are they using harp to try and block out, like, this good energy? But the thing is, like, perhaps maybe that's in exactly what they're trying to do. But the thing is, if we're really truly connected to source and you're aware of that, nothing can disconnect you. You know, nothing can disconnect you. And, like, they want to control this world, you know, and they're going to try. But, you know, something in me tells me that no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen the way they think. Like, our catastrophe is going to happen. Like, you know, maybe they will, you know, because there've already been plots. There's plots in motions. Like, are many people, perhaps millions and billions, going to die? Like, there is that chance. Like, you know, it could very well happen that way. Like, you know, in fact, you know, I don't like saying this. You know, in fact, this is one of the few things, like, I could even say, you know, I hate to say this, but, like, you know, a part of me